Hey there. Just thought I'd do a quick trade review this evening before I head off to bed, while it's all fresh in my mind. So, another choppy day in the market today. Wasn't the easiest day to trade again, but I think I quite enjoy trading it actually. It's a bit of a challenge, I suppose. And I think if we can master the if we can master this market and actually take some green days from it, then once things settle down and the market picks more of a longer term trend, I think we're going to find our trading years much improved from before, and I think we're going to start making some good money from it. So let's have a look at today's trades. So first trade up is AMAT. I got this from this scan. I've done a slightly new build on the scan, and basically it's based on a 5 minute doji top reversal. So the scan's actually got doji recognition built into it. So it gave me the scan result here on this doji. Here basically. So I thought I'd give it a go. Took it here, as you can see, at 54.27 on the on basically it pulled up a little bit and then broke straight back through this doji here. So I took it on that line. I was hoping for a trade down to this moving average 20 on the 5 minute chart, which I've found lately to be a really good area, or preferably down to the 54, maybe the 54 area here, or the VWAP somewhere would have probably been over here. I'm guessing somewhere like that. So after what happened last Wednesday, I giving back all those profits. I wasn't going to give it too much room, to be honest. So once it held this area here, it held over and reclaimed the moving average 9 there, which, as we know, is also the moving average 50 on the 1 minute chart. I knew that the trade was pretty much over for me, so I didn't even take a partial cover. I just took the trade off, took a small gain on it. I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, on these trades where it fails like this, I'm going to go long straight away. I'm going to literally close the position and get long straight away and risk off the bottom of the candle, because when they're failing here, they are actually very often going on to make a nice little gain on the other side. So kind of losing out something, as you can see from there. No reason to get out. It never broke the moving average 9. It would have given us a nice 80-cent trade there. So that's what I'm going to focus on tomorrow, is reversing my bias when something fails to the downside, swapping it and giving it a go long, reversing off the low of the playing off the low of the candle, which is going to be a really, really small risk and possibly a nice reward. Could be looking at some nice 10-to-1 risk rewards on that type of play. So that's sort of my homework to think about for tomorrow. Next trade was Citigroup. It wasn't all that good of a trade, to be honest. I think I was getting a bit bored, truth be told, and looking for trades that maybe weren't there. Citigroup was the next on the scanner actually here, as you can see. Although it had made a nice run up, it's the topping candle. There was too many topping candles. We got the doji, hammer doji, and then another doji. So I did take it on this red doji here, and it didn't really work out, to be honest. I gave it a little bit more room than I normally would. It was very tight anyway. I was only risking 10 cents. I stopped out here. Not a good trade, but I really was. I think I was probably just getting a bit bored by this point, looking for trades that weren't there. So not a great one, but there we go. I think the first trade of the day was Twitter, straight out of the gate pretty much. So we open up, we get a little down push here, and then I thought I was really looking for it to push up into this, up into the 29 area ideally, but once it pushed up and failed here, didn't even get to the 28.50. Actually, let's go to the 1 minute for this. Sorry, I would be better off on the 1 minute because I traded this on the 1 minute. So you can see here on the 1 minute, we get this top here, and then we get this candle. Hang on. There we go. So we get these two candles here, although they're not genuine proper tweezer tops. It's kind of a tweezer top setup, really. We get the long wick there, a red candle, and then another nice long wick there. Obviously, it's not going to get back to that area, so I just hit it short there, somewhere along here. My entry was around 28.39, I think. I was in the green on the trade at that point. Should have taken some off there. In fact, I might have done. I can't remember. I've got a feeling I might have taken some off there and then set my stop for 28.50, and I let it play out. So eventually, yeah, it did stop me out at 28.50 for about $34 loss, if I remember. So I can't remember if I did take any off there or not, actually. It's been one of those days, to be honest. So anyway, that was my first trade of the day, first loss of the day, was Twitter. So we go back to KMX, I believe was my next trade. So this is, I just had a chart up actually from Wednesday when I last traded. I think that was, it was just on there, and I happened to notice that it was looking weak on the daily here. When I looked at it, it was just about around this point there, and I did say something in chat that KMX was looking weak, and I was looking for a break of the low of this wick here. So we did get the break, which was here on this bigger candle here. So I took it short around 59.85, 84, I think was my fill. I thought I would risk off the moving average 9 to start with to see how it got on. So yeah, it worked out okay. I don't think I took a partial on this. I think I just let it do its thing. I took all the shares off there. Didn't really need to be honest. It didn't give me a genuine reason to, but again, I'm just not prepared to let green trades turn red at the moment. I really sort of pissed myself off last Wednesday, so yeah, I was a little bit emotional. The cover there, kind of should have taken off half and set half to stop, because it did indeed go on to go a little bit lower. So, but that was the thinking, you know, the nice little break of that candle. I was actually looking at this point here, I was kind of looking for it to make me drop a bit further, but there we go. There was actually a couple of, I missed a few nice trades on this by taking my eye off the ball. If we just zoom the chart in, I missed really nice trade here on a little double top sort of action here. You see that line there? Okay, this isn't a little less than, I suppose. So this line here at the bottom of that wick, which is this line here, you notice how it was first of all short because it represented support, and then notice how it comes up and the support there becomes the resistance there. A really good lesson there for me as well, in remembering that the previous support normally becomes resistance. So I should have been watching it. I should have taken it short off that area there, risking off the 60 there, and then it would have been a nice trade. Would have been an 80 cent trade in that for me. And then it comes back up to VWAP and it fails at the VWAP. I did see it, but I saw it there and I was kicking myself that I hadn't noticed that. So I think on a day when we get a candle this big on a down day, you're always going to get 2 or 3 nice trades off it as it bounces around. So definitely for me, need to focus more when something's dropped nicely like that in the morning. Going to get 2 or 3 bounce plays on it. Playing off resistance, nice little area to risk off. I don't think any trade would have been more than a 15 cent risk, and each trade would have given somewhere in the region of 0.50 to 0.80 cents. So a definite lesson on that for me. Still, it was a green trade, so I was quite happy with it, but I kind of lost my focus on that one. I should have kept watching it. Save, SAVE. let's just pull back on that one. Okay, so save. Let's have a look. I got this, so I made a little scan while I was away at my parents'. It's just a continuation on the ATM scan, really. It's a little bit different, based on different amounts of candles and different amounts of percentage up on the day, down on the day, that type of thing. It's more of it's a scan to try and find something for continuation shorts or to find retraces. It only gave me 2 results this morning, which was save, SAVE, and I knew this was probably going to be a retrace, so I just watched it up into the VWAP here, took it short. We've also got the whole number, 37 there, so it was a nice odds play. It just tapped out there, 37, took it short, took off half the shares here, around 36.50, and set the rest to stop at break even at 37. Let it ride out for a while. Eventually took it here as it reclaimed the moving average 50 on the 1 minute chart. I could ideally have left that to VWAP. I think it would have worked out better for me in the end. Yeah, it would have done. So yeah, I should have left that to VWAP, but again, in this market, for all I know, it could have shot on up, so not really going to look back and say I did that wrong. I probably should have given it a bit more room. But again, it just shows these retrace rejections are a very strong setup. A nice big drop there. A retrace right up to the VWAP. VWAP at the whole number as well. Look, 37. Bang. Take your cover, take some cover, set the rest to break even, and leave it for the rest of the day. That's something I need to get into doing, really. I guess like most people, I keep my eye on my P&L, and after a few red days lately and whatnot, kind of there's that little thing in the back of my mind saying, make sure you take some green from these trades. So need to eliminate that from my trading, looking at my P&L, and just let things work themselves out, because I know from what Pat's taught me that from watching Pat trade for 4 or 5 months now, taking these covers and paying himself, and then just setting stop to break even or a technical level of for a stop, and just walking away and leaving it and seeing what it's like towards the end of the day. I think something like 7 times out of 10 it seems to work out really, really well. So that's another note to self, really, is to stop. Once you've paid myself, stop getting too spooked out of these trades too easy. I know it's broke the 50 EMA there, but I think it's got the VWAP and it's got the 37 there before it's going to do me any damage. So yeah, I need to do that. Just start leaving it, really. Okay, so QCOM was another trade off the ATM scan, I think it was. Yeah, there we go. So QCOM, we get that in there. I quite like the setup here. I thought it might have given me a little bit more. Under normal market conditions, I think we would have seen an 80-cent trade on this. Definitely a trade back to the 50 here, down here, maybe the VWAP somewhere up here. Nice candle there to work off. So took it short here, 54.82, risking off 54.90 area, maybe 55 as not a massive risk on it. A few nice candles down. Again, holds the 9. I put in a little trend line here. It started to put this little trend line down on the 5-minute chart. So I decided at this point, once it broke the trend line, if it held the 9 as well, that I would take that as my lead to exit the trade, which I did. Locked in another green trade. My thinking on these trades, to be honest, is that a lot of them are going to be more scalpy trades, 20 to 30 cents. I think we need to be prepared for that, that they're not all going to be these nice 50, 60 cent trades, 1 point trades. They just pull back sometimes. And if you have a look at the daily candle, you bear in mind that at this point of the day, the candle was up around the 55 mark, so it was quite near the high of day. It was a big, strong looking candle. It had every possibility of going on even further. So sometimes they are just pullbacks to the EMA 9 on the 5 minute chart, or the 50 on the 1, and sometimes that's just a 30 cent trade. But that's okay. Taking a 30 cent trade is perfectly acceptable if the risk on it is only 10 cents. We've still got a nice solid 3-to-1 risk reward. If we're only risking 8, 10 cents, 12 cents on it, then there's no reason we can't be taking 500 shares on these trades. So 500 shares, 500 shares on a 30 cent trade. You're looking at sorry, I was just distracted there. I'm still looking at $150. Even 250 shares looking at $75 on these trades. So there's no reason to not take a few extra shares if the risk reward seems right. So yeah, took it off there. I'm not sure how it went on in the end, whether I would have. I think this one, I actually annoyed myself slightly on this. I broke one of my rules on this trade, and it would have worked out better for me. Ideally, I wanted to set my stop around 55. If I'd set my stop at 55 and let it work itself out, I would have had a nice. I would have had a nice 1.5 point trade on that. And this is really something that I've been working on lately, is to try and say, just give it that little bit extra room. If that's your stop, just give it a bit of extra room and let it do its thing. And look, it pulls back to there. It comes back up to the high of day. It kind of triple tops. It can't break that area there, and then the market sells off and it goes with the market into the close. All these points are things that hopefully, if you are watching this, you'll kind of pick up on that. Just because a trade fails there, maybe it's worth keeping on watching it, but I had such a tight stop on it, I should have just given it, all I had to do was give it an extra 5 cents at that point, knowing it was coming into a nice big round number of 55. Entry was 83, I only had to give it 20 cents, risking 20 cents to make 1.5 points. 1.5 points. So really annoying on that one. It was a green trade, but it could have been so much more. Again, another lesson for me on that one. Have to give things a little bit more room. Try to eliminate that little bit of emotion that's ruining some of my trades. The last trade of the day was AMGN. AMGN is something that I've been watching quite a lot lately, and I want to show you. Let's just go back to here. Let's get rid of that. So I missed a nice trade on it earlier on. You can see the way this little ascending triangle was forming here on the 5-minute chart. It comes into this wedge shape here, and you see it just holds that trend line, and then it trades into it, and then it breaks out there at 169.50. I did have the chart up, but I wasn't watching it. I was doing other things, so I did miss this trade. Would have been a really nice trade up to 173. Again, no reason to take it off. So, but I like the way AMG trades. I like the way when the market goes, it really takes AMGN with it to the downside, especially. Very often when AMGN is having a bad day, once the VWAP breaks around about 1 o'clock, it really gives itself up. So I'm going to be watching this every day, learning it as much as I can, and getting to know what areas it doesn't like and what areas it holds. Eventually, the trade I took on it was so it came up. It failed at the 173. I noticed here. We'll go to the one because I was trading this on the 1 minute. So here. Sorry. So I took it here basically. I watched it off the 173. I noticed it here. I was a bit annoyed I hadn't taken it off the 173, but it put in a lower high setup here on the 1 minute. So I took it short here, just around the 172.42, I think, something like that, as it broke the 50. I said, right, that's it. I'm going to set my stop at 173.05. I'm just going to leave it to do its thing, because one thing I had been noticing at this point here was the market was going up. In fact, this is the area here where the market just kept pulling back and breaking out, pulling back and going. And it wasn't taking AMGN with it. These little pops, but it wasn't going with the market. So by this point here, I started to think to myself, actually, unless the market really breaks out strong, I don't think AMGN is going to break the 173 area. So I was quite happy to set my stop at 173. Also, I need to get a little bit more used to giving these high price stocks a good 50 to 70 cent range on my stops. So it was a bit of practice for me. Took 100 shares, not a big position, but I was happy. I was going to risk $100 on the trade. Well, it's about 70, $80 on the trade, which is more than I would normally. Just something I need to get used to risking is a little bit more on these trades. So it was a bit of training for me. It held this trend line here. I was quite happy at this point, and then when it broke here, I was starting to think, shall I take it off? As you do, shall I? But no, I'm going to stick my plan. And then luckily the market started to sell off here. I started to take AMGN with it nicely. I had to go out at this point to pick my daughter up from work, so I set a range stop on it at 172, I think it was. And the range stop did hit, but of course, obviously the rest is history. It went on a lot further without me, but there we go. I don't even want to look at that. A bit emotional on the covers there, really. I thought, well, 172 will give me a nice little win on it, and it will guarantee that the trade finishes green. I guess really I should have set my stop at break even instead of being desperate to make money on the trade and just letting it do what it wanted to do. Would have been a really nice trade. Would have been a 2.5 point trade for me at this point, taking it off around VWAP. But there we go. Lessons learned. Give things more room. Be more patient. Stop looking at my P&L. Something we all need to do. But really happy with the trade, happy with my patience on it between here and here. I was so tempted to take it off in this area here when I'm down sort of $70, $80, thinking, well, it's so close to 173 there. It got up to 172.93, 94. I thought, well, here we go. Spreads were about 10 cents. I was about to be taken out anyway. But I just left it, and luckily it did in the end give me a green trade. So from coming back from $85 down to taking the green on that, I guess I was happy. I felt like it was a little victory, but I have to learn more patience. I think, definitely need to learn more patience with these. I wasn't there to take the cover, but I was kind of annoyed that I set my take profit at 172. I probably should have just set a stop and left it to do its own thing. Anyway, that's try and keep it. That's it. That's my trades for today. Definitely a lot of learning experiences in those for me. I hope you guys have had a good day. Looking forward to trading tomorrow, and I will see you then. Bye bye.